What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Wrath2501 here. Alright, this is another video from Popcross Studios. And this is what if Minecraft mobs were superheroes. Okay, this one looked really interesting. So, I figured, what the hell, right? Alright, of course it's by Popcross Studios. So, let's see what he's got for us here, see what he's going with, and go.
I've been getting a lot of requests lately to do another Minecraft-focused video, which I was definitely happy to do.
Okay, I have no idea what the hell that thing was.
Of my Minecraft
is that a...
Monsters
oh,
episode,
wow, that's a cool one.
I've been really leaning into monster, creature, and beast designs in the last little while, and wanted to dip a little bit more into superheroes and more human kinds of characters. So, for my latest attempt at tackling another Minecraft topic, I figured I'd go with a Popcross classic. Taking something, turning them into superheroes.
Oh,
Ravage. This time using Minecraft mobs that I've never used on the channel.
And a blaze.
Definitely going to be a fun one, so let's get into it, shall we? Let's go. Hit like if you want. Subscribe if you feel like. But either way, enjoy the show. The bustling city of Craftopolis is one of the most innovative and advanced places on Earth. What was once a small mining town has grown over the last century to attract some
the hell is that thing? Is that a Minecraft dungeon thing?
Architectural minds on the planet. You can't turn a corner without passing someone with $1 million idea firing around their mind. It's become an incredibly wealthy city due to all the miraculous creations to come out of its citizens. But, of course, a plethora of wealth has also attracted more than a few cunning and despicable villains, always seeking to steal technology, money, or ideas to use for their own nefarious purposes. Luckily, the city also has no shortage of heroes determined to protect the innocent. Some were born with their abilities, some utilize technology to give them strength, and some gain their powers through unexpected incidents.
Horrifying accidents. That's what he meant to say.
Newest hero, just making her debut, Layla Ali Lawton had been studying the inherent frequency of all materials and beings in the hope of creating a device that could locate more of anything placed inside it. So if you placed a lump of gold in it, the device could locate any gold within 100 miles and lead you to it. See, Ali had always been an obsessive treasure hunter when she wasn't working, and she wanted a way to find anything she or anyone else was looking for. And despite being barely out of high school, she was confident that she was capable of creating a device to help her with such a task. One night, when she felt she was incredibly close to completing it, she was dancing around her lab, singing along to the music she always blasted while working, and something went... not wrong, but certainly awry. Putting the final wires into place, the machine started to spark and whir. Ali hadn't turned it on, but it was like it was acting on its own.
That's never a good sign, dude.
Tapping into the frequency of an energy stream well beyond anything a mortal should have access to. The device's malfunctioning intensified, and everything in the room began
This seems like a typical superhero
in a
origin or supervillain.
Ali and everything else in the room was sucked right towards the device, and in that moment, Ali blacked out. When she came to, the room looked as though a bull had torn through it. Her device was destroyed, and something was very different about her. Her skin and hair had turned blue, but beyond that, everything around her looked slightly different. It was as though, beyond seeing the physical reality around her, she could see a faint light of the energy inside everyone and everything. Though she had no idea how to explain what had occurred in her lab that night, Ali soon found that she had given herself the abilities she'd hoped to give her device. If she held an object, she could feel the frequency of it, and sense everything with that same combination of frequencies anywhere around her. This could range from anything from an apple to a rocket launcher. On top of that, she eventually found that the frequency of her own singing activated something in her and caused her to spawn glowing wings from her back.
That's kind of weird.
Her to fly at rapid speeds,
even more so than other things.
Object she was targeting. It wasn't the most powerful set of abilities around, but Layla was determined to further study her abilities to discover how exactly she caused them to manifest, while also using them to help those in need in whatever way she could.
Pretty good artwork.
Now, when Layla first stepped
the Warden?
hero game, she quickly
oh my god, he's not even out yet!
Obstacles. For one,
I don't think the Warden would be a superhero. The Warden's more of like an eldritch horror.
Superhero Corrections and Placement Foundation to register her abilities with them. She didn't at all like the vibes she got from those people, but would soon forget about the Foundation after going out on her first patrol, where she had an unpleasant interaction with a hero she was only vaguely aware of at the time, called Wardar. While Layla had been eager to team up with some other heroes, Wardar clearly expressed his disinterest in being around her.
I think I was doing the chest right there.
To stay afloat, interfered with his abilities. See, Wardar was blind and relied on his hearing and vibrations of the world around him to sense where foes may be lurking. Something about Layla's singing seriously scrambled the sound waves around her and meant Wardar's inherent internal radar went haywire when she was nearby.
He attacked her.
She vowed to stay out of his area for some time, but immediately after meeting him, looked more into what was public knowledge of his abilities, as she thought there must be some way her powers and his could complement each other on a mission. He too was relatively new to the hero game, but had certainly made a splash.
Yeah, he
Villains
technically
had
doesn't
quickly
even
outed
exist
the
yet.
fact that he was blind, thinking this would give others an edge at beating him, but Wardar couldn't care less that people knew. Villains could often get a single strike in on him before he was aware of their presence, but Wardar was incredibly durable, as well as having a very sturdy supersuit, and being struck actually helps him locate where his foe is. On top of that, once his body experiences some kind of strong physical impact, whether that be a punch or a bullet, the energy from that blow reverberates through his body and actually makes him faster and stronger. Much of the time, that first hit is all.
Instead of going for the Warden, I would have gone for the Golem, the Iron Golem.
The authorities will often go to Wardar for help, seeking out gangs and villains meeting and hiding out in the intricate cave systems under the city, from back when it was a mining town. He thrives in the underground as there is less noise from the city, and he can more accurately target foes from
The
a
deep
distance.
dark.
Of course, there is some hesitancy to work with him, as Wardar can be a very violent hero, often taking his brawls too far and hurting foes more than he needs to get them in cuffs. Layla was intrigued by what she read on Wardar, but he was far from the most interesting hero she'd come across in her first weeks of heroing.
Yeah, I don't agree with this one. I don't agree with this one. Because the Warden lives in a place below even the bedrock level, the deep dark.
Layla came across was one who was never difficult to notice when he was out doing his thing. Calling Raid Ravage a tank would
Raid Ravage, really?
He was more like a rampaging mass of unstoppable metal and might.
This is another one that actually fits more as a villain than a hero.
A particularly dangerous raid on a group of villains, they'd almost always go to Raid Ravage for help. He's a 10-foot tall steel-plated beast of a man who doesn't say much, but is always willing to help. If that help includes smashing things, that is. At full speed, he can plow his way through any obstacle, and he's essentially a damage sponge, able to take rocket blasts and ion cannon bolts without losing any momentum. On the rare occasion when foes have managed to brutalize him,
but if you got a really powerful netherite sword,
stronger and more fierce. While he isn't particularly vocal, Raid Ravage does have an incredible battle cry that is amplified through his suit. It can be so loud and intimidating that it stuns nearby enemies. But
that thing that the Ravager does.
Allies. Nobody is completely clear on where Raid Ravage got his abilities. It's possible they come completely from his suit, but to fit into that armor, realistically, he'd have to be at least 9 feet tall and unnaturally broad and muscular already. In rare occasions when he has
not necessarily. I mean, you ever see Tony Stark get into the Hulkbuster?
By a mech designer based in Boston. But
okay, that's a reference to something older, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know who that is.
Regardless, he's proven to be a massive asset in raids against the toughest of villain groups in Craftopolis. He's even stormed into villain bases with other heroes riding on his back, firing projectiles at distant foes, while Raid tears through the melee-focused villains. Of course, like Wardar, Raid Ravage is not one to go easy on his foes, but in his case, it's more so because he's just so inherently strong that it's difficult.
He seems more like he'd be an enforcer for the Pillager gang, you know? A group of villains led by a powerful wizard. You know, was it Evoker? You know? I'd say that makes more sense. This one I don't care for either. This one doesn't fit right.
Because Layla's abilities are far from combat-focused, she doesn't see much opportunity to work with Raid Ravage on similar missions. But still, she appreciates his ability and will always keep him in mind if she finds herself in need of assistance from a particularly durable hero.
Yeah, once again, he went for these guys for the big bruisers, and he should have gone with the Iron Golem.
Now, often when you want to become good at
Blaze.
something, whether that be a
So
sport,
blazed.
drawing, or being a superhero, a good
Friggin'
tactic
get those
is
rods,
to
you grind them up and you snort them.
time with much success.
Snorting that blaze
Study
powder.
their tactics and see what it is they're doing so well. With this in mind, Layla quickly sought out a hero who'd been one of the very originals to fight crime in Craftopolis.
Originals.
Brightblaze. Brightblaze had been given her abilities
Brightblaze.
at a young age by her parents, who were members of a notorious group called the Nether Cult. This group studied a dark art often called nether magic, with which they could summon energy from another realm to bring supernatural abilities and entities into this world.
Were they
Many believe
piglins?
this to be an incredibly dangerous practice, so for years, authorities and heroes have sought to bring down the Nether Cult. The cult, of course, deemed they needed defenses against these potential foes. In an attempt to create protectors
my arm
for the
itches.
cult's causes, they
Hell.
enacted rituals to give some of their members superhuman abilities. Belle Brighton was one of these people. The nether power she was given allowed her to ignite her entire body in smoky flames and control fire. She also had limited flight abilities that she enhanced by acquiring a jetpack to help with propulsion and speed. She'd been
Yeah,
given
'cause
these powers
blazes
young
aren't
and was
particularly
intended
fast.
to be trained and raised as a warrior for the cult's causes. But as she was being trained to protect her own people, she soon found that there were many more
This was not
events
so
around
bad.
outside her group that
This
were
was pretty
needed
good.
for
I
her.
like the idea of
In
this
her
one.
spare time, she began going on patrols of Craftopolis and helping anyone who was in danger. This was incredibly gratifying work for her, but when her parents found out about it, they tried to forbid her from continuing to help those outside the Nether Cult. While she loved her parents and cared for the community she'd grown up in, she also believed her powers were a responsibility to help anyone in
Throwing
need.
fireballs.
Tensions grew between her and the cult, and eventually she was cast out of their ranks and denounced by her own parents. This was devastating for Belle,
Assholes.
but instead of spiraling, she poured all her attention into helping anyone she could. Burying her anger at being rejected by her community did make her a rather hostile hero, often unleashing
Of course her eyes are red.
rage on foes, thinking it would sate the sorrow she'd buried. She wasn't the easiest.
Yeah, take
person
it
to
out of some
hurt
asshole
either,
in the
and
alley.
when Layla
That's
approached
perfect.
her to possibly
That's-
work
I
as
totally
her
agree with that.
sidekick, Brightblaze immediately refused. But over the next few weeks, Layla kept watching and distantly trailing Blaze, and the two of them would eventually
Trailing
reveal a
Blaze.
team-up. Brightblaze's only condition for them working together was that Layla never go after anyone in the Nether Cult. There were certainly some bad people in that group, and Blaze had never gotten over her anger at her parents, but even still, she loved them and wanted only the
Aw,
best for
that's
her
sweet.
old community. Layla agreed, eager to finally be making new allies to learn from and work with in Craftopolis. But only time would tell if she'd actually be able to keep her promise to Brightblaze, as the Nether Cult had some big plans up their sleeves for the future of their city and the world.
See, now I'm expecting guys like the Wither, Ender Dragon, you know? So this one's pretty good. This one's not so bad. I kind of like this one. But as far as the Ravager and the Warden, well, they are cool, and the designs are pretty cool. They don't fit as superheroes. They're better off as supervillains. Like the Ravager should be like the Bruiser for the Pillager gang or Illager gang, and the Warden is just like this mysterious creature that is deep, deep in the ground underneath the guarding something.
Plus, if you're new to the channel and you
Oh,
want more
Wither.
Minecraft stuff, maybe check out the aforementioned Minecraft
Oh
Mobs
god,
Fantasy
yeah,
Monsters
that's pretty much how creepers look
Besides
to
that, that's
people,
all
to
for today,
Minecraft
except,
players
of
in
course,
general.
ending the video on some
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
pretty
positive
our
note
mind
that
pretty
I've
much
already
fills in the blanks
tried to
right
do
there.
with all my
So
videos.
yeah,
And today's is something I'm paraphrasing from a Steve Harvey motivational speech, which is that
Uh-huh.
your survival rate for getting through every single one of your bad days, all of the worst days of your life, is 100%. Every time you've had a terrible day, situation, week, month, you have gotten through it. So if you're going through something tough right now, know that you have what it takes to get through it.
oh
and
god,
become better
phobias is
from
demons.
going through it.
You're implying that
Focus on what
clowns
you
aren't
learn from
already
the situation.
demons.
That'll just help you be more resilient, so the next time
And
something
Stitch
rough
in the
happens,
Suicide
it
Squad.
won't feel like as much of a bad thing. Hope that's uplifting to someone out there. Thank you so much for watching.
It's not,
I love you
really,
all,
it's
and I will
not.
see you all in the next episode on Monday. Goodbye.
Okay, so that was Minecraft Mobs with Superheroes. That was pretty good. Though, like I said, two of them don't agree with. Better as villains. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, though. I did enjoy it overall, though, regardless. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe, guys. Of course, click on the link to the original if you enjoyed it. Get down to Popcross Studios, like the original, sub to them over there. And I will see you guys next time. Tune in every day for new content. Bye-bye.